Hello and welcome back to ESEAnews.com, your number one source for esports news coverage. My name's Connor, Cake Builder Gentlecore, and today I'll be taking you through the ups and downs of Fnatic's eventual first place victory at Dreamhack Winter 2011. Fnatic was placed in Group C, and it was definitely one of the more difficult groups. This group included TEG and top teams such as Moscow 5 and Na'Vi. Despite TEG going 0-3 in group play, Fnatic had a very close match with them, which ended up being 16-14 to start off group play for Dreamhack Winter 2011. In an interview with fnatic.com, PETA had been quoted saying that Fnatic in general typically starts cold in the very first match of any tournament. After their win against TEG, Fnatic moved on to play Na'Vi in what would be their first of 3 total matches on DE Tuscan, winning this first one 16-10. The win was highly attributed to the AWP of Friss, who was able to constantly shut down Markelov and wound up racking in the most frags of the match, ending with an impressive total of 27 frags and 15 deaths. To finish off group play, Fnatic had to play Moscow 5. The Russian team was actually able to take Fnatic down at the BDIC Grand Finals the weekend prior on Tuscan and also on Forge. Fnatic, however, was able to pull off an astonishing 16-2, scoring not only the match, but the redemption they wanted as well. It was only by beating TEG, Moscow 5, and Na'Vi that Fnatic was able to earn their way onto the quote-unquote easier side of the bracket for the tournament. Fnatic's playoff run started with the first best of 3 against the Nexus, who actually had Trace ringing for them. Trace put his monstrous AWP to work for the Danes, getting a plus 15 kill to death difference on the first map, which was DE Train, out-AWPing Frisk consistently, which helped the Nexus to pull off an upset on the first map 19-17. On Inferno, it was a Nexus who won the first T-Pistol round, keeping their momentum going, but a Deagle buy from Fnatic as counter-terrorists proved to work out in their favor. From this point on, the match was entirely Fnatic's as they continued to punish a Nexus for their mistakes. Fnatic was able to take this match 16-8. Playing again on DE Tuscan, Fnatic faced some difficulties as Trace was putting up big numbers, just as he did in previous matches this tournament. However, Friss was able to overcome this kind of personal war between Trace, just as Fnatic was able to overcome their close matches against the Nexus. Fnatic was able to take this match 16-10. Moving on from the best of 3 against Nexus, Fnatic was set to face Mouse, who was coming off of a 2-0 victory against ESC Gaming, one of their matches being a very close 16-14. The momentum from Mouse carried over into their first match on Inferno, where Fnatic unfortunately fell short, losing it 16-11. Things were still looking okay for Fnatic though, with the next match being on DE Nuke. Although Fnatic usually has a strong T side on this map, they collectively didn't really pull off the half that they wanted to secure going into CT side. Thankfully, their coordination on CT side really shined, and they were able to pick up this match 16-12. Last but not least, the map was Tuscan yet again, where Fnatic was able to come out on top over Mouse 16-11. This forced Mouse to get placed in a third place decider against Na'Vi, where Mouse would eventually lose and go home fourth. Moving on to the grand finals, Fnatic would find themselves in an all-Swedish final against Lions. Just like in their match against Mouse, Fnatic failed to show off their typically strong T-side on Nuke. Fnatic played all around poorly, with only one of their fraggers just barely pulling off a positive KD difference. It seemed like Fnatic was about to choke, losing their first match in the grand finals. Here on Dust 2 as the second map, Fnatic was able to totally control the second half of the match, putting up the 8 rounds they needed while losing 0. Fnatic came out on top over Lions 16-7. The third and final map of the set was again on Tuscan. First hit an incredible amount of op frags, each as important as the last, and put up 37 frags on the board. Rightfully deserved, Fnatic took the first place title here at Dreamhack Winter 2011. Again, my name is Cake Builder. Please stay tuned to ESEAnews.com, your #1 source for esports news coverage.